Good morning, good morning, good morning. Still on the same paper, guys. Like I told you that I'm going to finalize the common paper for the Metro Central Education District. I've done 2.3. I'm moving on now to 2.4 on our question 2, which is part of Geomorphology paper 1. Let's cut to it. Okay, this is the question P. This is the question 2.4. The diagram illustrates river rejuvenation. So the concept that is being assessed here is river rejuvenation. I want also to link this up, guys. Remember from this paper that I did with you guys, that paper about the Madeleine Spring. Remember, I also covered river rejuvenation. If you can still remember this question that I did with you guys, I think I covered in detail as well. If it happens that you do not understand the one that I'm going to upload now, please revisit this one. You'll see it on my TikTok as well. I'm going to upload it on my YouTube channel as well. Of course, you still remember that I did this about river rejuvenation. I explained this in detail. So if you can watch this one and this one that I'm going to do today, I don't think you'll have any problem in as far as river rejuvenation is concerned. So let's go through it now. So the diagram below illustrates river rejuvenation. So the first thing, guys, when you come across a concept, what you might need to understand is, what is the concept all about? Let's start from there. What is river rejuvenation? What are the reasons behind the river rejuvenation as a concept? So those are some of the things that you also need to understand. So before I even look at the diagram, let me just try to explore the concept. Okay, we are now saying now this is when the rivers become more energetic and starts to erode vertically. Okay, this is when the river becomes more energetic and starts to erode vertically. Okay, this is when the river gains more energy and increased speed and erosive power. So we are now saying now when the river is flowing, assuming, all right, let me just put it this way. This is the longitudinal profile of a river. This is your source. This is your mouth. This is your upper course. This is your lower course. This is your upper course, middle course, and lower course. I'll just say U for upper, M for middle, and L for lower. So if you compare the longitudinal profile, you would find that in the upper course, because I want to make sure that you understand the concept, what happened? The river has got more energy. It's steep. Okay, the river has got more energy, it's more erosive. So by it having more energy and becoming more erosive, which results in vertical erosion or downward erosion, that's what the concept of river rejuvenation is all about. So we are now saying now it's steep, the river has got more energy, is flowing at a higher velocity, which means high speed of the moving water. So when it's moving at high speed, that's what makes it more erosive. That's what makes what causes what you call downward erosion, which is vertical erosion that increase the depth of the river. That's why we have got a V-shaped valley within the upper course. So I'm just trying to simplify it so that at least you can understand what I'm trying to, what river rejuvenation is all about. So this is when, number one, a river has got more energy, which means when you are looking at this concept, it means river has got more energy. River is what? River is erosive. To be specific, there is more vertical erosion. Okay, so these are the three things that happens in as far as river rejuvenation is concerned. The river is more energy, it's erosive, and there's more vertical erosion. That's what happens during what we call the river rejuvenation. So what are some of the things that results in river rejuvenation? We are saying, number one, if there's an increase in rainfall, which means if we have got more rainfall, which means the velocity of the water now, of the moving water, is high. That's what makes also the river to be more erosive, and there's more of vertical or downward erosion that will take place. That is also river rejuvenation. When also, let's assume that there's breaking of a dam, it also increase the speed and the volume. Like in some instances, the dams are full and they want to make sure that they reduce the pressure that the dam has, obviously in the downstream, which means there'll be more water flowing in the downstream. That means the river is also being rejuvenated. It has been given more energy. It's more energetic now. It's more erosive, and there's more downward erosion that is taking place. We can also talk about an instance whereby there is a river, like this is a river, main river. Then we have got more tributaries that is joining the main river. This has got more water, which means they are going to add the volume of water in the mainstream, which gives it a higher velocity, which makes it more erosive as well. This is another way in which a river can also be rejuvenated. There can also be a river capture, which increases the volume of water and encourages more erosion. This is when a more energetic river captures the headwaters of a less energetic river. That's what river capture is all about. This is when a more energetic river captures the headwaters of a less energetic river. Let me see if I've got something just to add on here. So we have got these two rivers. Of course, we have got this one, and we have got river B. What is happening? You can see the direction in which it's flowing. Of course, remember I once talked about headward erosion. Here is backward. It's cutting back to its source. Cutting back to its source. Okay, what is happening? This is the first diagram. What is happening? You can see it's cutting through the watershed. You can see it's cutting through the watershed. Of course, what happened now? Now it has cut through the watershed and it has captured the headwaters of B, which means the volume of water on this captured river now is more. That's why we are saying it is now rejuvenated, because it has got more volume in terms of water. The water in the river is moving at a very high velocity. So that's what makes it more erosive. That's basically what I'm talking about. Of course, I'll explore this topic at a later stage, but I just wanted to show you how river capture and also cause river rejuvenation. Of course, there's more volume of water here, and from the stream that has been captured, obviously it does not have a lot of water as compared to the captured stream. That's basically what we are talking about. Okay. So I have actually tried to explain the concept of river rejuvenation. Let's go through the concept now. What do we have here? A river entry into the sea. You can see that there's river entry into the sea, the first diagram. Then secondly, what happens? A neck point. A neck point, which means a change in a change in gradient along the profile of a river, which means a neck point, it can become steep, of course, like a waterfall, like a rapid, which means now the river is now flowing at a faster speed. The river, there's more vertical erosion that is taking place now. The river has become more erosive. That's basically what we are talking about. So which means that what explains the process of river rejuvenation on this picture. What do we have? Sea drop. That is the reason now. Sea level drops and river cuts into the floodplain, creating a new floodplain, a waterfall or river bluff. So waterfall now is a neck point that you find along the profile. So it resembles, it shows that there is river rejuvenation that has taken place because there's a change in gradient where we have got a neck point. The water is now flowing at a faster speed. The river is also in eroding vertically or downward. That's what resembles what we call river rejuvenation. What else do we have? The sea river keeps cutting back. River keeps cutting back and waterfall turns into rapids further back, meanders erode vertically. You remember I talked about the headward erosion, which can be backward, which means it's cutting back. That's part of headward erosion. It was here, but it's cutting back. Remember, headward erosion, it increases the length, so it's cutting back, can be forward or backward. So that's basically what we're talking about. River keeps cutting back and waterfall turns into rapids further up, meanders erode vertically. So basically we are saying now this diagram, it's a full explanation of what river rejuvenation is all about. The river is now energized. The river has become more erosive. There is more of vertical erosion, the presence of the neck point. So all that tells or sums up what river rejuvenation is all about. It sums up what river rejuvenation is all about. Remember I was telling you guys, where did we get this picture? Where did setter of this paper derive this got this from? You can see the source https level rivers Weebly rejuvenation. So obviously you can see now it's even written, that's rejuvenation. This is the process that is being assessed here, process that is being depicted on this picture. All right, so let's go through the question now. Define the term river rejuvenation. Okay, when a river is eroding the landscape downwards in response to the lowering and change of its base level, or river rejuvenation is a process where rivers actively erode downward. So this is when a river becomes more energetic and it starts to erode downwards, or there starts to be more vertical erosion that is taking place. That's what river rejuvenation is all about. Rivers becoming more energetic and starts to erode vertically. That's what this is all about. Okay, in simple terms, this is when the river becomes more energetic and starts to erode vertically or downward. That's basically what it is all about. So number one, I've said the river is more energized, it becomes more erosive, and there's more vertical erosion. So that should be included in your definition. That should be included in your definition. Let's move on to the next one. Identify the condition that resulted in river rejuvenation. What is the condition that resulted in river rejuvenation? Remember, there is a drop in sea level. drop in sea level. Guys, it's here, a drop in sea level. This is what is resulted in river rejuvenation, a drop in sea level, which means the drop in sea level is actually created the nick points that we have, is also given the river more energy, is made the river to be more erosive, is resulted more vertical erosion. So it's a drop in sea level. I'm just showing you where I got the answer. It's coming from the information that you are given on the exam paper. Then name one likely fluvial feature that can form at the nick point along the river profile. What feature can form along the nick point along the river profile? Okay, name one likely feature that can form at the nick point along the river profile. Guys, everything is here. Guys, everything is here. Check here. It's even written a waterfall. It's even written what? A waterfall. It's even written there. It's even written. There's also a rapid here. A rapid is written. Everything is there, guys. You see, I've collected already. I've got 5 marks. I've got 5 marks that I've collected that I'm taking from the information that I was given on this diagram. So that's what is happening. That's how you should collect these marks, guys. Then explain the impact. Explain the impact of river rejuvenation on the grading of a river. What is the impact of rejuvenation on the grading of a river? So basically what we are saying now, guys, and what is river grading? Okay, this is a state of equilibrium between erosion and deposition along the profile of a river. That's basically what river grading is all about. So the question is saying, what is the impact of river rejuvenation on the grading of a river? So you can come up with answers such as rejuvenated rivers will be ungraded and obstructions along the coast as a result of renewed downward erosion. So we are now saying now the river has been like this. For a moment now, there's been the drop in the sea level, which means now it becomes ungraded. That's basically what we are saying now, because the river has been rejuvenated, so it becomes ungraded because now we have got a nick point, we have got obstructions along the channel. That's the river profile. That's basically what we are talking about. So we are saying now rejuvenated rivers will be ungraded, obstructions along the coast as a result of renewed downward erosion, because all along here we don't have a nick point, but here because of river rejuvenation we now have a nick point because of a drop in sea level. That's basically what we are saying now. There are obstructions along the river profile, which makes it ungraded. There are nick points along the profile, which makes it ungraded because there's a drop in sea level. The river is now energized. There's more vertical erosion that is taking place. We can say now, river will now show a multi-concave profile, of course, which means, okay, temperate base levels of erosion will develop. So the temperate base level of erosion, okay, this is what we have now, the nick point, which means these ones are temporary. The nick point, with time, they can actually be eroded so that we end up with a concave profile. That's basically what we are talking about. Then overgraded rivers, renewed downward erosion now take place. Vertical erosion downstream of the nick point dominance. This is what is happening here when there's a drop in sea level. Okay, the balance between erosion and deposition is now disturbed because we have got more erosion than deposition. So the balance of erosion and deposition is now disturbed, which means it's changed from being a graded to an ungraded profile. That's basically what we are talking about. I think I have explained that in detail. Guys, if you explain it like that, look at what you have already. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got 9 points now. 9 out of 15. You haven't attempted the last part, okay? 2.4.5. Discuss the changes. The changes that will occur in the fluvial features found in the illustrated course of the river as a result of river rejuvenation. What will occur in the fluvial features found in the illustrated course of the river as a result of river rejuvenation? What do we have? Okay, the nick points that we have here, they can form because of the old erosion level meeting the new erosion levels. That's how they are formed, because the sea level has dropped. You can also talk that the new nick point retreats upstream. This is what is happening here. Cutting back is retreating upstream, which is more like your backward, headward erosion. That's what is happening. So the nick point retreats upstream, It's cutting back. It's cutting back to its source. That's what is happening. The nick point retreats upstream. Waterfall can form at the nick point due to the lowering along the course of the river. That's why we have got a drop in sea level. We have got a waterfall. That's what is happening. You can also say waterfall turn into rapids. It's written here, river keeps cutting back, waterfall turns into rapids. That's what is happening further back because of backward headward erosion. That's what is happening. Then meanders will become more incised and entrenched. Meanders, okay, this is a meander, it will become more incised. To incise, just to cut deep. That's what we are talking about. An incised meander, this is to cut deep. That's what it means because of vertical erosion, because the river is more erosive. That's basically what is happening there. So which means an incised meander is a feature of river rejuvenation as well. Meander will become more incised and entrenched that is eroding vertically, which means we have got our meander. It's cut deep because of the drop in sea level. So that's what we mean by enlarged meander. Then we can also river cast into the floodplain, forming a new floodplain. Why? Because of the vertical erosion that is taking place. The river has become more erosive, so it's cutting into the floodplain. That's what is happening. If you can check here, this was the floodplain, but now it's cutting into the floodplain, which means it's taking part of the floodplain as it is retreating backwards. That's basically what we are talking about. You can see what had happened here as well. Okay, then we can also, a valley within a valley forms because of vertical erosion. There is already a valley that is there. So when we talk about a valley in a valley, I'm going to show you a diagram. So this is already a valley. So when it's cut deeper, which means we are having a valley in a valley that already existed. So that is a valley in a valley. This is a feature of river rejuvenation, because when there's more vertical erosion, it's already a valley. But the moment now there is more incision that is taking place, cutting deep here, which means it becomes a valley in a valley. That's what it's all about. Okay, then valleys with multiple terraced slopes will form. Valleys with multiple terraced slope, you can see here, there's a terrace slope here, there's a terrace slope here, there's a terrace slope here, there's a terrace slope, which means a terraced slope is also a feature of river rejuvenation. Terraced river, you can see now, it means at this point, when the rivers become more erosive, maybe there's more water, it starts to cut deep, which means it's going to leave these embankments. Okay, it's going to leave these embankments, which is a river terracing. That is also part of river rejuvenation. That is what will happen, boys and girls. I think I've done justice basing on what I have explained, what I've gone through in as far as this question is concerned. Please go through this question. You can also revisit the question for the spring camp for Madibeng. I also covered river rejuvenation there so that you can have a better understanding of what this concept is all about. If you have got any questions, please do not hesitate to comment. I welcome all criticism, negative, positive. It also helped me to improve, because I am not the messiah of the subject. It's not me. I'm not the messiah of the subject. Please go through this, comment. If there's anything that you feel I did not include, please comment as well. I can explain. I can actually upload more videos. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.